It is from the StormTrack 5 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Dierks, continuing to track the progress of severe storms that are in southeastern portions of Kentucky at this hour and getting pretty close to southwestern Virginia at this hour as well. Do want to remind everyone that we do have a tornado watch effective until 4 a.m. This is in effect for Hawkins and Hancock County of northeast Tennessee, as well as Wise, Scott, and Lee County in southwestern Virginia. A severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for Dickinson, Buchanan, and Tazewell counties, and until 3 a.m. a tornado watch in effect for Leslie and Letcher and Harlan counties in Kentucky as well. Now, the recent update here now on that tornado warning that was issued a little while ago for a storm that we've been tracking that has had a history of producing tornadoes with it and continues to potentially have a tornado with it as well. That storm is now right over the Manchester area of southeast Kentucky and is also approaching now Hyden, Leslie County, and also will eventually be approaching Hyden in northern Leslie County as well. So joining me now is meteorologist Teresa Carter. Teresa, this storm has had a history of tornado warnings with it. If I've been tracking it, pretty closely over the past several hours, I believe it's had a tornado warning with it almost continuously since it moved from southeast Missouri into western Kentucky, and now it's moving into eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, it certainly has. And what did you say earlier during the 11 o'clock news? It was over 200 miles?
Yeah, it was like over 250 miles.
Yeah,
that it's had a tornado warning with
warned
it.
Storm. And you can definitely see we've got a little bit of a hook echo, a little bit of signature right there, and that is what we're kind of concerned about. That's continuing to, well, one, because it's a tornado warned storm, we're definitely looking at right in here and this actually a little bit earlier, not too long ago, that they actually did confirm a tornado. So a tornado was observed on the ground from this particular warned storm. So that is why we're paying very close attention to this particular cell that's moving off to the east, and we could be seeing a lot of damaging winds as well as hail size up to 2 inches. That is very large hail that we're into this particular warned cell.
And Teresa, so we're actually breaking into this storm. It's not officially yet in our viewing area. Leslie County is the beginning of our DMA, the beginning of our viewing area, and that part of Leslie County now that's in the warning is just a small section of Leslie County right through here. That is west central Leslie County. So it has not, the tornadic part of the storm has yet to reach the viewing area of Leslie County, but that warning is in effect until 12:30 for that possible tornado that is moving, the storm moving pretty quickly to the east at about 45 miles per hour. And you can also see that we have a new cell that is being warned for a tornado as well. So we actually have 2 supercells right now. This one here, that is near Bush, and the other one is for this cell here that is to the west of London. That one has yet to push across Interstate 75. Still pretty far removed from our viewing area, but there are 2 supercell thunderstorms now that are producing tornadoes, or at least one of them is, and one of them may be. The one that has the lavender coloring, that has had a confirmed tornado with it.
Yes.
And that's the one that's is moving toward Leslie County in eastern Kentucky, and that warning is in effect until 12:30.
Yeah, even though it's just in the it has really not gotten into Leslie County yet, but we want to warn you that this particular storm, this tornado warned storm, is going to be moving east into Leslie County. So if you are in Leslie County, you need to be going to your safe place, someplace that is away from windows. If you have a basement, that is the best place to go, the lowest floor interior room. If you don't have a basement, go to the lowest floor, maybe like a bathroom or a closet or a hallway that does not have any windows. So you need to take precautions now. And of course, cover your head, use a blanket if you have one. And if you do live in a mobile home, you need to evacuate that mobile home because they are definitely not safe in tornadoes. And this particular warned cell that is going to be moving into Leslie County is a tornado warned storm. So you need to take precautions now. Get into your safe place in your home.
So Teresa, let me go ahead and first put on the wind fields here and show where the most likely position of that or location of that possible tornado would be. And it looks like right now it would be right there near just to the east of Bush. And moving off to the east at about 45 miles per hour. So I would say it right in this zone right here where we have the two opposing colors of wind field away from and toward the radar, and that tight little what we call couplet interaction with those strong wind fields opposing one another is where we have that rotation indicated by radar, confirmed actually by ground sighting of a tornado earlier near London, Kentucky earlier, and still that rotation is really quite strong, quite noticeable, and I would just assume that there still is a possible tornado on the ground with that cell as it continues to push off to the east at about 45 miles per hour. And I'll put on here kind of track the tornadic part of this cell and put it on here.
And this is coming at the worst time because it's nighttime and you're not going to be able to see that tornado into that warned storm. So this is coming at a very dangerous time.
And there is the track here as we see it here for the next approximately an hour or so, which moves it right across the northern part of Leslie County very shortly, and that would be putting it in our viewing, firmly into our viewing area of southeastern portions of Kentucky.
Yeah, Hyden around 1236, and then of course points eastward into Hazard and also into maybe into Whitesburg area. So that's something that you folks will have to be on alert because this is moving off to the east.
Yeah, if it holds together in its current strength and movement, it would probably push it into Letcher County, what you're referring to with Whitesburg. You know, maybe not within an hour, but you know, maybe hour to an hour and a half, perhaps max, I would say. And then after that, we're talking that it is in southwestern Virginia after it gets past Letcher County. So
exactly.
And there's actually, you know, two really intense cells. The one that we have just talked about that is moving into Leslie County, but also the storm.
Here's the other one.
The other storm now that is pushing close again to London and Interstate 75. And that cell right now is potentially producing a tornado as well. I would say, I don't want to, let me look at this again. I would say the tornadic part of the cell is probably, you know, just now to the west of London. Actually, now we're seeing, getting a confirmed tornado color with that tornado warning that when it turns purple like that, that's indicating that we have a confirmed tornado.
Confirmed tornado in that one. So we have actually two particular cells that are back to back, and they both are tornado warned, observed tornado. So we do have confirmation that their tornado is on the ground with this one that is just moving, starting to push into Leslie County or almost, and then behind that one we have a second one that is just to the west of Interstate 75 right now, and they're both moving to the east.
Okay, so I was looking here at the messages from the National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky, and in their data feed, they do show pictures of that tornado that was, sighted and confirmed, and it looks, very, pretty serious, pretty large, pretty damaging tornado. And that picture again that I can't show you on the air, I don't have permission to do so, but it is from Somerset. That's with the cell that's approaching Leslie County right now. But then again, we're also getting a confirmed tornado potentially now for that cell that is approaching London, Kentucky as well. So we have 2 tornado warnings in effect for London and areas to the west and Interstate 75, and then also for this cell that is near Hyden and moving closer to Leslie County as we speak. And that, of course, is our concern right now, is that particular cell. You can see the kind of the hook echo that is a classic signature right through here. That was where our tornado is most likely on the ground currently and moving to the east. And once you get to Big Creek, you're right on the line there of Leslie County. So that tornado warning does include up to the western portion of Leslie County in 1230, and I'm assuming that may have to be extended to include.
I would not be surprised if they did extend that.
Okay.
Are you seeing?
I'm just saying upgraded to radar confirmed tornado in Pulaski County. Okay, so yeah, so there is that. The second cell as well back here has a confirmed tornado with it as well.
Okay.
Near just to the west of London, Kentucky, and that cell is going to be crossing Interstate 75. But again, the cell that will be pushing into Leslie County, which is officially the start of our viewing area in Kentucky, is going to be under the gun shortly. This tornadic part of the cell has yet to move into Leslie County, but it will be shortly.
It will be very shortly. Hail potential with this storm?
Yeah, it looks like it. I think they're indicating about quarter to maybe ping pong ball size hail, quarter size hail, potentially with this cell as it begins to.
And then look at, well, both of them.
Yep.
But this one is very impressive looking.
And both of those cells, storms have confirmed tornadoes with them right now.
Yes.
So folks, downstream in Leslie County obviously are in your safe place right now, but as you mentioned, we'll have to, keep a sharp eye, downstream into Letcher County. It looks like those 2 cells would probably stay north of Hyden County, but there are plenty of other storms back to the west too that eventually will be pushing into the Tri-Cities. I want to see if we can't get a little broader view here of that line of storms.
And then also with those thunderstorms or the tornado warned storms, one, of course, damaging winds and of course the tornado, but number 2, this has been producing a lot of heavy rainfall. And from this 1-2 cells and then more coming from the west, we're looking at one after the other after the other.
All right, so we are getting an update.
Okay.
This is going to extend that tornado warning.
We are looking at some flooding concerns as well. In fact, that area into southeast Kentucky is under a flood watch. So what are they?
Okay, so the most recent here is the National Weather Service has extended that tornado warning into now all of the central and northern part of Leslie County, also into southern Perry County. That would include areas around Hazard, as well as southwestern Knott County, east central Clay County, and the west central part of Letcher County. So that does extend into that, west part of Letcher County in our viewing area west of Whitesburg. And so let me give you I'll put the warning up there for you to see the text from the National Weather Service here. So that considerable damage likely with that storm. A confirmed tornado was located over Boho or near Manchester, moving to the east at 40 miles per hour. And that's a little bit slower than the track I had at 45 with this one that I just plotted, so I'll take it down 5 miles per hour. But anyway, that's not a big change. But it is moving to the east at 40 miles per hour, so the tornado will be right now near Hector. around 12:25 near Bob's Fork, around 12:30 around Hosea, and around 12:35 around Hyden. So that's, you know, the a large community, obviously, in Leslie County, Hyden, and that would be, they have indicated around 12:35 that tornado will be moving into that section of Leslie County, but it does extend into Perry County and the far western part of Letcher County, right there as well.
Right there, yeah. All right, so we do have...
And again, this is still a confirmed tornado.
Right.
Let's go ahead and clear that off, and let's take a look at, all right, so this is the kind of the composite wind shear chart showing where the wind shear is the greatest within those two cells. And that, you know, they were talking about, you know, near and just south of Manchester is where that wind shear along the east, it looks like pretty close to the east, Hal Rogers Parkway. And then the second cell that has the tornado with it is now, you know, approaching London. So we'll put on the velocity here and see what we can. So it looks like with that cell that's approaching Leslie County now, right through that area is where the, you know, the strong little, you know, couple of opposing wind fields that right there and right there. So our tornado is likely right in this zone.
Right in that area, yeah, right there.
Right in this zone right here.
Okay.
Near, well, just now pushing east of Hema and also to the southeast of Manchester. They said the tornado was near Manchester at 12:16. And so, you know, it's about 5 minutes later, so it's moving pretty fast off to the east. So, you know, folks in Creekville and Markham and Big Creek, you should already be in your place of safety. And we'll be pushing into, I can draw the line here where Leslie County begins, kind of right through here. Oops, sorry about that. Right here is about the Leslie County line. So it's still just west of Leslie County, and Hyden is right through here. So that storm, I'm getting a new scan here, and still with the new update, it is still looking very likely that we have a tornado with it. Let's put something on here. Let's see. We're going to see if we can find anything here with a correlation coefficient. I had watched when that storm was moving past Somerset, a definite signature, debris signature. I'm not sure if I see that right now within that you know, recent loop, but there certainly is likely a tornado with this storm right now as it continues to move closer to Leslie County.
Yeah, as you were saying, right in through here.
Just to the kind of the near Bodo or Bado up toward Hector. And that would be, let's see, that's 421, and that would be taking it toward Route 66 and toward Markham and Peabody and near Hector currently, and pushing off to the east, and we'll be shortly pushing into Leslie County, which is, as we've been talking about, is where our kind of our viewing area begins. We could continue to track some other storms that are moving through Pike County. Those storms have, I guess we could see here, do have, let me see if they still have, it looks like the severe thunderstorm warning expired for Pike County, but other storm cells continue to develop along a cold front that's going to be pushing through overnight. And Teresa, you can see that the line of storms that eventually will be pushing into the Tri-Cities is extending back to the west here, across areas of, you know, south central Kentucky into north middle Tennessee, getting set to cross into the northern part of the plateau region of East Tennessee, and nearly that whole line has severe thunderstorm warnings with it. Exactly,
either severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warning. We have one right there, and then of course we're watching too near London, and that's getting closer into into Leslie County, just to the very west of Leslie County. So we are not done yet by any means. In fact, we are just starting, but nonetheless, this line of thunderstorms, this nasty line, will be moving east and will be affecting everyone in our viewing area.
Why don't we go ahead and do a future track on that?
Okay.
And just see, we may have to extend it a little bit further to the east here. I kind of got ahead of myself there, but all right, let's get it right there. About right now, we're about 12:30 or so, and this is a little bit east of where the current position is of those line of storms, but getting pretty close to that area. But to give kind of an estimate of the time that these storms are going to be pushing into the Tri-Cities, we can push this into the future a little bit. That's at 1 a.m.
And then a little bit more, I would say at least a good 1:30 to 2 o'clock.
I don't think we'll see much in the Tri-Cities within the hour. This is probably, this forecast model updated about an hour ago, 2 hours ago. So I think it's a little bit fast with the progression of that line of storms. 1 o'clock maybe pushing it a little bit to get that far to the east, but nonetheless, the trend is going to be, as we go through the overnight, for the line of storms and showers to push into the Tri-Cities as we go through the overnight. Last areas to be impacted will be the mountains of Tennessee, North Carolina, but everybody, as you mentioned, is likely going to see some heavy rain with this storm as it pushes to the southeast. But it does, I think, show a rapid exit. That, I think, between about 4 and 5, and then to 5 to 7, things pretty much wind down.
And also weakening.
Yeah, and weakening as well.
And weakening, that's going to be the main thing right there, is the weakening, especially as we get probably still looking at some, more than likely, some strong thunderstorms into the Tri-Cities, possibly some severe thunderstorms as well. Just really depends on how, if those thunderstorms that are moving into Leslie County or southeast Kentucky now or will be very shortly, if they stay together, if they hold together as a severity, then certainly we are going to be seeing some more severe thunderstorms even into the Tri-Cities. But looking at what we had earlier in the future cast, again, about 4, 5, 6 o'clock, it'll start to be weakening and more likely into the East Tennessee mountains and especially into the North Carolina mountains. And that was going to be when it's going to be weakening.
So as far as the dangers, you know, from the top danger, where I think everybody will see some downpours, but there will also be likely some scattered, strong, straight line wind damage as well. Those two are the two dangers that are most likely to occur as this line of storms comes in. Still an elevated risk of some large hail. I would say maybe up to around quarter size, perhaps.
We have seen that from the thunderstorms that we had earlier this afternoon, at least a good quarter size.
And since we have those two cells that have the tornadoes with them, and until they show signs of not producing a tornado, we have to include that isolated tornado risk. And perhaps the better chance, obviously, in southeast Kentucky, where the storms are currently, and then maybe getting closer to the border counties into southwestern Virginia as well. We'll see how that storm kind of reacts to you know, an atmosphere that may be turning a little bit more stable as we get into the overnight hours. But certainly this storm is still very dangerous, and there is a tornado warning with it until 1 a.m. There's actually 2 cells that have tornado warnings with them. The one now is bearing down on Leslie County, that hook echo, if you will. The area there that likely has the tornado with it is now pushing into the northern part of Hyden County and moving east at about 40 miles per hour. I'll go ahead and do a little tracking.
It is actually moving pretty quick, very fast, 40 miles per hour.
And so folks need to be in their safe place in Leslie County. And even though that tornado warning extends all the way through Perry and into the west part of Letcher County, that warning goes through 1 a.m. So you can see between now and 1 a.m., it's moving pretty quickly. And so that will be something that'll have to be watched. But anyway, we'll show you that part right there. And there's the track on it now as we look into the future over the next hour or so.
So hazard about 1251, and then moves a little bit farther east into Colson. That's about 123, and Crown is about 128, so almost 130 in the morning.
And Hyden, it looks to be around
1241.
1241, confluence about 1235, and Calliope there at 1233. I mean, it's already storming in some of these areas, but I just kind of kept it where the tornadic signature is and points eastward. So I know we may have some rain and probably some hail around near and to the north of Hyden already, but the tornadic signature is back to the west a little bit from that that area. So that was the cell that was tracking the tornadic signature of that supercell right now.
And again, right
Kentucky.
there is the tornadic signature right there. So it's just actually trying to cross in to...
Still very well defined.
Yes.
Signature here with our wind fields. And I'm sure our viewers can pick it up pretty easily. Right there and right there. That's where we have our opposing wind fields and our couplet and our rotation and the likelihood of a tornado, which is this may be a couple minutes old, but right near and to the south of Biggs Creek, moving along areas close to the Hal Rogers Parkway, and taking it's moving pretty quickly off to the east, so we could do a track on that and maybe get a little bit better defined area that would be impacted by that cell. I mean, that's if it maintains kind of that general eastward path. So these are some of the areas, the Breckenridge Hospital, around 1240, Hyden about 1241.
And let's see, Blackie about 115, and then points a little bit eastward, Colson about 124. So Cinda is in there, that's 1249.
And let's see, it does, and toward the end of that time frame, it would take it up toward the west part of Letcher County, but that would take it through much of Perry County around. Is hazard making? Is it on there? It's not now. It's showing, but it's a little bit. The track keeps it a little bit south of Hazard, but definitely areas from Breckenridge Hospital, Hyden, Wendover, Cinda, Viper, Defiance, Blackie, Jeremiah, Colson, all are looking to be within very close proximity of that tornado as it pushes off to the east. Now, I don't want to, narrow the path too much, though, because it's a large and damaging looking storm, and there's two of them too, so we can track.
There's one.
The one that still has a confirmed tornado with it is the one that is approaching Hyden in Leslie County.
And then look right behind that, severe thunderstorm warning, and then there is looks like it's Somerset, or possibly near Somerset, a tornado warning.
Yeah, so we've got three cells that have tornado warnings with them in southeastern portions of Kentucky at this hour, and all of them pushing off to the east. Still, we don't really have any activity in northeast Tennessee or southwest Virginia, but the storms are definitely getting much closer. Let me see if we're getting an update here. Okay,
we are getting an update. So again, we've got 3 cells here that are tornado, 2 that have been confirmed with tornadoes, and that is going to be that is moving into Leslie County, and then there's a second one just to the west of Leslie County near London, near Interstate I-75.
Okay, so the new update here: tornado warning remains in effect for central Leslie County. That's the storm that I'll zoom into a little bit here, and I'll read the updated warning and put it up there. There it is, the one flashing right there. Tornado warning remains in effect for central Leslie, west central Letcher, southern Perry, southwestern Knott, and east central Clay counties. That warning remains in effect until 1 a.m., I do believe, and they still are confirming a large and dangerous tornado located near Bob's Fork or very close to Hyden, moving east at 40 miles per hour. So that cell is just about ready to come across the Hyden area. Folks, obviously in northern half of Leslie County, including Hyden, need to be taking shelter immediately from this very dangerous storm that is bearing down on the Hyden area as we speak. And let's see, a large, extremely dangerous, potentially deadly tornado is on the ground, and they are urging to protect your life. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest level of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. So the wording on this warning is very urgent, and the storm has a confirmed tornado with it, and could be causing some damage right now as it moves closer and into the Hyden area as well.
And I would, even Viper, I would be on the lookout, because you are going to be in the center of this storm as it moves off to the east.
Okay,
Viper,
I see what you're talking about, yeah.
Viper is right here.
And that would be in Perry County. But yeah, so the dangerous part of the storm right now is very close to Hyden. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. There's right along Highway 421. That cell is
Wendover, Hyden.
right in through here.
Yep.
That appears. So this storm is right near Hyden and moving to the east at about 45 miles per hour. So folks, this is a very dangerous situation, and you need to be taking shelter very soon downstream. Now, you already should be in your shelter in Leslie County, but in the Hazard area down toward Daisy, those areas also will be experiencing the possible tornado as well, and that warning does also go into the western part of Letcher County as well. And then again, that warning is until 1 o'clock in the morning, and most likely that will be extended eastward, and that would take it through, you know, the rest of Letcher County, potentially at least the northern part of Letcher County, and then we'd have to see if that warning would be extended into perhaps the northern part of Wise or Dickinson County beyond that. We've got to start thinking about that, because it is, you know, a confirmed tornado with it right now, right over Hyden and moving to the east pretty quickly at 40 miles per hour, with two other cells behind it having tornado warnings, not necessarily confirmed, but radar indicated tornadoes now near London and also near and south of the Somerset area. Somerset had a confirmed tornado not long ago with that first, you know, cell that's now in Leslie County, and that was confirmed. We got pictures that the National Weather Service has gotten from, it looks like, law enforcement, and definitely there was a tornado on the ground with that cell, and that's the one that's now coming into the Hyden area, or is in the Hyden area right now.
It looks like that either they have downgraded that in Somerset.
I think it's now, it looks like it's just a severe thunderstorm warning.
Right. And right now it is not a tornado warning. They have reissued that and is now a severe thunderstorm warning. But nonetheless, these thunderstorms are capable of damaging straight line winds, which actually damaging straight line winds can be just as deadly as a tornado. They can do just as much damage as a tornado with these straight line winds. So, you know, don't let your guard down if like, oh, we're not in a tornado warning anymore, everything will be fine. No, not with this line of thunderstorms that's continuing to move in with as much damaging winds and how quickly it is moving as well. So that's another thing. Right now they're moving off to the east about, what, 40 to 45 miles per hour.
Yeah, and picking up on the point you're in, to drive it home a little bit, this is a really dynamic system. I mean, this has had a level 3, level 4 potential severe weather ever since yesterday, which includes us in the level 3 from the Storm Prediction Center. So when you get like those kinds of potentials as far as severe weather, it's a little bit above the normal lower threshold for severe thunderstorm warning, which is only about, what, close to 60 miles an hour. So you can get 70, 75 mile an hour gusts of wind with some of these intense storms as well. And that is, can do a tremendous amount of damage and can be just as dangerous, as you said, as maybe a low-end tornado.
Well, in fact, earlier this afternoon, we had severe thunderstorm warned storms that were producing 60 to 70 miles per hour winds. We have seen a couple trees down. Wouldn't be surprised if power outages, because of how strong and how fast these storms are moving. They're very powerful storms. We have a couple warned storms that are tornado that have been confirmed tornadoes on the ground. And
so just real quickly, these are some of the impacts of those storms this afternoon.
Yeah, look at the hail on this.
And this is the line of storms is coming again into southwest Virginia, northeast Tennessee. This was the first storm line that came through. It stayed north of the Tri-Cities barely, but moved across southwest Virginia with some large hail, largely around quarter size, maybe a little bit larger in a few spots, and even knocked down some trees and power lines as well. And that could be an issue as we go through the overnight as well, as some of these storms will have the potential to cause some tree damage and potentially bring down some trees and power lines as well. So that's a good idea to kind of charge your cell phone, make sure that it's set and ready for business throughout the night should you lose power. And again, we're keeping an eye on that cell that's right now pretty close to and moving across the Hyden area, that tornado warning storm right over Hyden, Kentucky. Within the past 10 minutes, we got that update on the tornado warning from the National Weather Service in Jackson, indicating that a confirmed large and dangerous tornado was on the ground very close to Hyden, moving east at 40 miles per hour. And you can see that storm right there with that wind shear and the little wind couplet right over the Hyden area of northern Leslie County. So we're getting a new one, and still that just got a new scan, moved it a little bit to the east, but showing the dangerous and possibly very destructive storm now right over Hyden, Kentucky. If it still is producing a tornado, that storm is one that is perhaps causing some damage now in the Hyden area of northern Leslie County. So a very dangerous storm, continues to push off to the east, and will be moving from the Hyden area, and then eventually will continue toward the eastern part of Leslie County. Let's see if we can give folks a heads up. As it gets past Hyden, you can see it's going to be, a danger part, possible tornado near Wendover as well, and probably some hail around Dry Hill on the northern flank of this supercell, and around Avawam, probably some hail and some heavy rain and Frew. But the dangerous part of that storm is on the southern part there, where we see that little appendage sticking down to the south, right over Hyden, Kentucky, and Leslie County.
And that's actually going to be moving in Similax. So you are going to be in the path of where the signature is of that tornado.
Exactly. So let's see. So at 12:42, which just now they're confirming a large tornado, extremely dangerous tornado, located near Hyden. Of course, we've been talking about that. That just coming directly right now from the National Weather Service in Jackson, and that is moving east at 40 miles per hour. Make sure you are in your safe place. Possible tornado moving through the Hyden area right now. As it continues to push off to the east, that will impact other areas. And we'll zoom a little tighter here. You can see we've got Highway 421 extending here south of Hyden, but the dangerous part of the storm is right over Hyden toward Wendover, and we'll be moving toward Wootton or Wooton, and also Route 699, Similac, would potentially be in store or in line for this dangerous storm. And then the very intense rains and the hail core of this storm would be in this area to the north of where that tornadic signature is. So this is probably where our hail is occurring, right through here, and intense rain, but the actual tornado itself is most likely right to the south, near and possible, somewhere in the Hyden to Wendover area there.
Yeah, right in here. So even Wendover, you need to be in your safe zone.
So,
and then, like I said, Similac, again, you need to be in your safe area as well, because it is moving into your area. So we have 699.
Oops, sorry about that.
Nope, that's okay. And then Similac.
And then, to make matters worse, is there's still another supercell storm back to the west of Leslie County that is being warned for a tornado as well. You can see that does include near, and mainly it looks like near and east of London toward Bush, up toward Burning Springs. So even as we get beyond the dangerous storm now in Leslie County, which is just raking across from Hyden points northward, that is just storm number 1. So you don't want to let your guard down, because there's another tornadic cell potentially coming in behind that.
Exactly. Burning Springs, Bush area right now, Big Creek, Oneida, London. Here's I-75 in London, but certainly this is another tornado warned storm that is on the heels of the one that is impacting Hyden currently and Leslie County, and that for Leslie County, that tornado warned storm is in effect until 1 a.m. So you're not done yet, because once you get this, I bet this warned storm is going to be impacting and will probably get reissued and moved a little bit farther east into Leslie County.
That certainly doesn't have as pronounced tornadic looking signature as the one, but definitely is one that is being warned for tornadoes. So that does not have a confirmed radar tornado with it, or one that has been seen or witnessed or observed. So they can be confirmed tornado by radar, or they can be maybe the radar gets and signals that there's some debris within the storm. Then we'll call it sometimes a radar confirmed tornado, or it can be one that is actually sighted and observed.
This one is actually sighted, confirmed.
At least it does appear so. And also that this is the one that did have the pictures that I've seen from law enforcement that this is the one that came through Somerset, quite a ways back to the west. But this is the one that did have a confirmed tornado with it, and I've seen some pictures from law enforcement from that. But here we just got the latest scan showing still the shear here, and looks like, let's see if we maybe put it about right through here.
I was going to say it's moved a little bit farther east, but certainly Cutchin, if I'm saying that right, Similac.
So anywhere from east of east of Hyden down toward Wendover to Similac, and maybe as far south as Cutchin, and then as far north as Wootton and Frew. That area there, up toward maybe as probably not much further than Dry Hill or Avalon, but I would say probably in this general area here is where it looks like the tornado is, if there still is one somewhere in that area right there. East, I would say now southeast of Hyden or east of Hyden. I would say it's no longer probably, Hyden's no longer probably in that area. So meteorologist Kit Alexander joining us here as well. So you may hear another voice coming on, and we've got meteorologist Teresa Carter and me here continuing to track these dangerous storms that are moving through southeast Kentucky. Let's put the reflectivity back on and kind of give a little perspective on where the storms are in relation to Southwest Virginia. You can see we're starting to see, maybe due to some outflow boundaries from the storms back to the west, we may be beginning to see some new development here right along the Kentucky-Virginia border, Teresa, along the Lee County and Wise County line. Yeah,
Big Stone Gap, Norton, Wise area, even all the way down to 421 near Pennington Gap. So again, we're starting to see those outflow boundaries that are seeing those strong, at least some stronger thunderstorms, producing some heavy rainfall, probably some gusty winds with this particular line. So that's what we're going to be watching as well, because that is all, again, moving off to the east. But certainly the tornado warning right now for Leslie County is in effect until 1 a.m. So we have about another 10 minutes. But certainly behind this, just to the west, here is a second tornado warned storm. And like Dave was saying, this particular one is radar indicated. So we don't know if there actually is a tornado on the ground, but certainly on the radar, it is showing some rotation in it, and so that's why the National Weather Service has gone ahead and issued a tornado warning for this particular cell near London. Here's Interstate 75. So.
And also, you can see that we're beginning to see the storms getting warned for now in Tennessee. Pushing into not our part of Tennessee, but pushing into the close to the plateau area northwest of Crossville. I might put a bit of perspective of that on here right now.
And again, notice we do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect.
I'll put that on here.
This is going all the way down, and here's crossover, but certainly we do have that tornado watch that's in effect through 3 to 4 a.m.
If I could also chime in here, guys. So that tornado warned cell, the one that's over Hazard and around Hyden, from what I understand, that is one that there's actually an observed tornado actually reaching the ground. Is that correct?
Yes.
Based on what I can tell.
And that one, and there were I don't know if you saw those pictures from that same cell back west near Somerset. I mean, that's quite a bit ways back to the west, but there definitely was a large tornado with that cell, and you're saying you also have confirmed that as well, as it has been as it's come east into Hyden County, into Leslie County.
Yeah, correct. That's the way I'm looking at it here on the radar. It is an observed tornado. What's interesting with it too, I'm sure you all have been covering it, but the wind shear is incredible on that. I was actually trying to get a number of gate-to-gate shear on that. It looks like, 60 mile per hour winds going away from radar, and then about 40 going towards radar. I mean, so if it were all to be mixing to the surface, not saying it is, we would be looking at 100 mile per hour gate-to-gate shear on that. Not saying that's actually the case, but that is something I am noticing on radar right now. And actually, that last scan just came through. It looks a little stronger than what I realized.
And there's the most recent scan on that the viewers are seeing right now of the shear, the wind speed. It's not quite as pronounced as it once was.
I was just going to say the same thing.
But we just got a new warning here, so that is, I'm not sure if that means they're going to replace the tornado warning with a severe thunderstorm warning. That would be, good news if that is the case. But still, until 1 a.m. here for another 7 minutes, we do know that tornado warning remains in effect.
Right.
But it does look like, certainly, we could probably go back in time and show what the shear looked like. Let me see here. Right there. Do you see that? That's when it was coming toward Hyden. That was at 12:37. Let me even zoom in a little bit tighter to it. And then that was 12:37, and it was really, really strong rotation there near and south of Big Creek, and that was at 12:30 as it was just beginning to push into Leslie County. And we can see the shear has definitely gone down, and that is good news. Don't want to say there is no tornado. Certainly there could be some destructive straight line winds yet with that cell, but it appears perhaps that the tornadic potential is diminishing somewhat. Don't want to let our guard down until 1 a.m. When we will likely get an update. In fact, let's go ahead. So that the tornadic cell behind this one has been replaced, it looks like, or will be replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning as well.
Okay.
Let me get a fresh look here at
That's
that.
definitely good news.
Okay,
what time was that warning for that is behind the Leslie County one? Let me just see. That was both of these are until 1 a.m. The one that's behind the Leslie County storm and also the Leslie Perry Letcher County storm, that tornado warning also is in effect until 1 a.m.
Okay.
So at 1 a.m., what looks to be happening is that they're going to allow perhaps the tornado warnings to drop off and perhaps replace them. I know they've already replaced them with a severe thunderstorm warning has been extended east of both of those cells. But the tag, if you read that, Teresa, you can see that it still has the tornado possible tag there at the bottom of the box.
Yes.
So they're not saying the tornado threat is over, but it has diminished enough where they feel comfortable allowing allowing the tornado warnings, both of them, to translate or transfer into a severe thunderstorm warning. But that does include eastern part of Leslie County and also more of Letcher County, right up to near Whitesburg.
I was just going to say the same thing, that it's moving east and affecting Letcher County now. But certainly, I mean, that signature doesn't look as bad as it did, like you were.
Yeah, it was looking very scary.
Even 20, 25 minutes ago.
Yeah, zoom in again and look at that and compare.
But I don't want you to let your guard down, because with these storms, it's going to be the damaging winds, the damaging straight line winds, and then also the very large hail with these storms. So just because it's been replaced or will be soon be replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning rather than a tornado warning, you still have to be in your safe place, because this is still a very dangerous storm, regardless.
And what's also interesting, Teresa and Kit, is that we have, in addition to, well, what's happening is these two supercells are kind of coming together and coming together into a line, really. And that typically then signals that straight line winds become more of a danger. Not that they already haven't been, but straight line winds start to become more widespread when you see a line forming like that. We've got those two supercells maybe losing some of their rotation, obviously, but as they come together into a line and race off to the east, 40, 50 miles per hour, that's a good signal with this kind of setup that we could be looking at everything, a pretty solid line of severe thunderstorm warnings that will be coming into the area from the northwest.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I noticed there too, because even though the tornado warning is up there near London and then also Hyden, there's a good line of severe thunderstorm warnings. It looks like severe thunderstorm warnings or watches. Is that the watch? Or
no, these are all warnings.
Yeah, all warnings. That's extending down into Tennessee, into the Cumberland Plateau area. So a large wind swath that would be really, really strong, possibly damaging winds.
Some heavy rainfall into Wise County right now.
Yeah, we've got
near Norton.
Those these aren't severe yet.
No.
But you're right. I mean, this is new development. We got to keep an eye on those trees. So you're absolutely right.
Exactly, because when we were looking at this just a few minutes ago, this is really intensified over the last, I would say, 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, an hour, half hour ago, wasn't even there.
No, exactly.
So,
Exactly. So Wise, Norton, near Big Stone Gap, getting at least some light to moderate rain showers just to the Dunbar, Derby. Dunbar and Derby is where the
Intense
heaviest
rain is.
of rainfall is falling right now, near Appalachia.
I put on the lightning strike data on there. At this juncture, I don't see any cloud around lightning strikes unless it's no. They're there. They're showing up. I just they're not very big, or else they just showed up.
Yeah.
Let me make them larger. I didn't see.
So
them
we
at
do
first.
have some lightning within these thunderstorms.
Pretty safe to say, if the strong winds with some of these storms actually doesn't wake folks up, I'm sure the heavy rain along with the winds will, because it looks like that's some pretty torrential areas of heavy downpours.
Yeah, we do have flood watches in effect through early Saturday or Saturday morning for southeast Kentucky. But even if you're not in a flood watch, certainly also into Buchanan, Dickinson County. But certainly if you're not in a flood watch, and you're going to be receiving some heavy rainfall, and that's going to be localized flooding as well. So that's another concern that you have to be aware of as well as we head, because
and there are a couple of warnings, flash flood warnings that have been issued, not in Southwest Virginia or obviously not Northeast Tennessee. We've seen nothing really today, but you can see the northern part of Leslie County near and north of Hyden, and a good portion of the central and northern part of Letcher County, really from Whitesburg points northward, do have flash flood warnings in effect right now.
Yes, so Leslie and Letcher County flash flood warnings, and I mean, obviously that is expected with this line of thunderstorms that's continuing to move in and will be in that area over the next few hours. So most of this activity is going to continue to push east, and then everything will be out of here by about 7 in the morning, out of the entire viewing area.
All right, so now I made the lightning icons a little bit too large. I couldn't see them to begin with, and now I've gone in the other direction. And
so a lot of lightning associated with this line of thunderstorms.
yeah, I'm going to tone those down a little bit. There we go.
There we go.
But I'm going to take that off because it's distracting. But you can see there is a lot of lightning associated with this line of storms that is beginning to get into Southwest Virginia, Wise County, and also you can see Buchanan County. But the line of storms extends now not only into areas near the Kentucky-Virginia border, but also into Tennessee as well.
Yes.
Still not in our viewing area of Tennessee, but that line of storms where you see all that frequent lightning is pushing to the southeast at probably 35, 40 miles per hour. And so that is what's going to be coming our way as we, move into the next 2 or 3 hours into the Tri-Cities.
Yes.
So most of the severe thunderstorm warnings looks to be around the winds potentially gusting up to what, about 60 miles per hour? Is that about right? And then
yeah,
looks like maybe hail in excess of 1 inch. It looks like 2.
All right, it is after 1, and they have gone ahead and let the tornado warnings expire. And then, like Dave was saying, replaced with those severe thunderstorm warnings for Leslie and Letcher counties.
And something else I noticed, there was no break in the warnings a little bit ago. Maybe they're going to kind of connect that area of the warnings to the north and the south, but that whole area was under a severe thunderstorm warning there along Interstate 75 south of London near to the Tennessee border. I'm assuming that will likely be reissued. I'm assuming, maybe not, but at this point there is no warning between the warned storms in Leslie and Perry and Letcher County and the storms now pushing into the Livingston, Cookville, Beardstown area of the plateau near and just to the north of Interstate 40 especially, but still west of Crossville. But we can maybe show viewers who may just be joining us future track. Again, we did notice that it was a little bit pushing things a little bit faster than what was actually occurring. But this will just kind of give us a rough estimate. Let me go ahead and put this closer to, let's say, 1 o'clock. This is probably about, what, an hour maybe too fast, I would say. But the general trend is going to be for this area of rain and storms between, let's say, now and 3 a.m. It might be closer to 3 to 4, somewhere in that time frame, pushing into the Tri-Cities. I think 2 a.m. is going to be probably, a little bit early for that line of storms, but definitely coming in. And I kind of want to point out also, as we get toward the, the closer to 3 to 5, that we may see some weakening even before then. Before we see it come through the Tri-Cities entirely, there may be some weakening. Forecast models have been kind of hinting at that, really all day long, that line might weaken as it comes across the Tri-Cities, which would be good news. But certainly it looks like by sunup tomorrow, this whole mass of rain is gone, and it should set the stage for a pretty decent weekend, a little breezy at times, but a pretty decent and generally dry weekend.
Yeah, most definitely. We're going to need a couple days to dry out from the heavy rainfall that we've been experiencing. One thing that it's right now into southeast Kentucky, but the futurecast that Dave was just showing, a lot of what is right now into southeast Kentucky is going to be out of here within a couple of hours. So again, this is the most intense part right now into southeast Kentucky. A couple more hours and most of that is going to be out of your area, and that is going to be more into Tennessee and most definitely into southwest Virginia and the Tri-Cities within the next couple of hours. So that is what we are looking at right now. And again, we do have those that was tornado warned storms has been replaced with severe thunderstorm warnings for Leslie and Letcher County currently.
All right, so I think while we have the tornadoes warnings, being replaced by severe thunderstorm warnings, we will take a quick break and allow us to go to regular programming for a little while. And as these storms continue to move into southwest Virginia and northeast Tennessee, we will continue to be here and bring you updates as necessary. Meteorologist Kit Alexander, meteorologist Teresa Carter, and myself, and continue to monitor the progress of these storms. But at this point, we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Letcher County and also parts of Leslie County for the next half hour or so. So be in your safe place, and we'll continue to track these storms as they begin to push into southwest Virginia. Some have already done so, as well as the activity that will be eventually coming into northeast Tennessee. But as far as the Tri-Cities is concerned, we're probably going to see some, we're beginning to see some cells pop up now around, very small cells popping up there, Teresa, but at least for the time being, short term, next hour or two, doesn't look like any severe weather for the Tri-Cities. But be weather aware, stay with us, and we'll continue to bring warnings and updates as